Aaron wiped the sweat from his forehead as he bent over the cracked, sun-baked ground. The desert stretched endlessly around him, a sea of gold and orange under a blazing sun. He'd been following the map for days, but the signs of the old Pharaoh's tomb were still faint. Broken columns and scattered stones hinted at what once had been a grand palace. Aaron's heart raced with excitement. This was the moment he had been waiting for. He carefully brushed away the sand from a small stone tablet. Hieroglyphs carved into it were worn, but a faint shimmer hinted that they were more than just decoration. Aaron's eyes widened. This could be the clue to the legendary Pharaoh's Gate, a place few even believed existed. The map he had found months ago in a dusty old library had been vague, almost like a riddle. Yet now, standing here, the riddle seemed real. "Aaron, are you sure this is it?" asked Nira, his closest companion. She held a small metal scanner in her hands, its lights flickering as it read the energies around them. "Yes," Aaron replied, brushing more sand from the tablet. "Look at this." These symbols matched the descriptions in the texts. "The gate is near." "I can feel it." Nira shook her head, half in awe and half in worry. "I hope your feeling is right. This desert is not forgetting. If we are wrong, we could get lost forever." Aaron smiled. "Then we must be careful. But we are not wrong. The Pharaoh's Gate is real, and we are the first humans to stand near it in thousands of years." They moved together, scanning the area carefully. The desert wind whirled around them, carrying fine grains of sand that stung their skin. The ruins grew more impressive as they walked. Broken statues of kings and gods peeked from the sand. Their faces were solemn and mysterious, frozen in time. Aaron imagined the people who had built this place. They had believed in something greater than themselves, something that could connect life and afterlife. Finally, they reached a large stone doorway partially buried under sand. Its surface was covered in symbols that glowed faintly as the sun touched them. Aaron's pulse quickened. This was it. The Pharaoh's Gate. He knelt in front of it, tracing the carvings with his fingers. They felt cold, almost alive, as if the stone remembered the hands of those who had built it. "Look at this," Aaron whispered. "These symbols are not just decorative. They tell a story. They speak of a trial, of a journey beyond life itself. This is more than a tomb. This is a gateway." Nira's eyes widened. "A gateway? Are you saying it leads to the afterlife?" Aaron nodded slowly. "Maybe not the afterlife we imagine, but some other world. Something ancient, powerful, and hidden from humans for centuries. That is why it was sealed so carefully. Only the worthy could enter." As they studied the doorway, Aaron noticed a small indentation at the center, shaped like a hand. He carefully placed his hand into the shape. A low hum filled the air. The ground trembled slightly. Nira jumped back, startled. "What did you do?" she asked. "I think I activated it," Aaron said, his voice a mixture of fear and excitement. "This could be the mechanism that opens the gate." Suddenly, the symbols on the doorway glowed brighter. A line of light traced around the edges of the door, forming a pattern that pulsed like a heartbeat. The hum grew louder, vibrating through the sand beneath their feet. Aaron felt a strange energy fill the air, almost like the desert itself was alive. "This is incredible," Nira said softly. "I have never seen anything like this. It feels aware." Aaron smiled, his mind racing with possibilities. "This is why we explore. Not for fame, not for gold, but to understand. To discover the secrets that even time cannot hide." The desert wind calmed. The sun moved slowly across the sky, casting long shadows over the ruins. Aaron and Nira stood in front of the glowing doorway, knowing that what they had found was only the beginning. The Pharaoh's Gate had waited for centuries, hidden in silence, and now it had chosen to reveal itself to them. Aaron took a deep breath. Tomorrow we enter, he said firmly. We must be ready for whatever lies beyond. This is not just history. This is a challenge, and we are the first to face it. Nira nodded, her excitement matching his. Then we face it together. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the glowing doorway seemed to pulse in time with their heartbeats. The desert was quiet once again, holding its secrets, waiting for the brave few who dared to step forward into the unknown. Aaron stared at the gate, feeling a mixture of fear, hope, and wonder. He did not know what waited on the other side, but he knew one thing. Humanity had reached a threshold, a moment where curiosity, courage, and determination could change everything. The Pharaoh's gate to the afterlife had been found, and a new journey was about to begin. The next morning, Aaron and Nira packed their gear carefully. The desert was cool at dawn, but the sun would rise quickly and bring fierce heat. They had decided to explore the area around the glowing doorway before attempting to enter. The ruins were full of hidden traps and puzzles, and even one mistake could be dangerous. Aaron led the way, holding the map tightly in his hands. Every step through the sand seemed to whisper secrets of the past. Broken statues and fallen walls showed signs of age, yet there was something unusual. Small marks in the stone looked like messages left for travelers. Aaron knelt to study them. "Look, Nira," he said. "These markings are instructions." The builders wanted someone to reach the gate carefully. They did not want just anyone to enter. Nira examined the stone closely. "It feels like a path," she said. "A path of tests. Whoever comes here must be ready, not just strong, but wise." They followed the trail through narrow corridors of sand and stone. Every few steps, they discovered more symbols glowing faintly in the sunlight. The symbols pulsed gently, as if responding to their presence. Aaron realized that the gate was not just a door. It was part of a larger system, designed to protect its secret. After several hours of walking, they reached a steep dune that blocked the horizon. Beyond it, the ruins stretched farther than they could see. Aaron scanned the area with a small device that measured energy. The screen showed unusual readings, stronger than anything he had ever seen. "This energy," Aaron said, "it feels alive. Like it is watching us." Nira shivered slightly. "Do you think the desert itself is guarding the gate?" "Perhaps," Aaron said. "The ancient builders might have created this place to test courage and patience. The desert is part of the trial." As they climbed the dune, a strange wind rose suddenly. It carried sand in swirling patterns, forming shapes that seemed almost human. Aaron paused. The wind was not just wind. It moved with purpose, as if it wanted to guide them or warn them. "Stay close," Aaron said. "We cannot let the desert separate us." Nira nodded and kept her eyes on him. Together, they reached the top of the dune. From there, the full scale of the ruins came into view. Massive stone walls rose like mountains. Towers, broken but still majestic, stretched into the sky. The glowing doorway they had seen yesterday was far below, but the path leading to it was clear. As they descended, Aaron noticed a series of shallow pits covered in sand. He pointed to them. "These are traps. If we step wrong, we could fall. We need to move carefully." Nira followed his lead, placing each step where Aaron indicated. They worked together, their trust in each other growing with every careful move. The desert challenged them, but it also taught them. Patience, observation, and courage were as important as strength. Hours later, they reached a narrow canyon that seemed impossible to cross. The walls were high, smooth, and worn by centuries of wind. Aaron examined the stones and found small grooves, like steps carved into the rock. He smiled. The builders left a way. "We must follow it exactly." With careful hands and steady feet, they climbed the canyon. Each step was measured, each move deliberate. The wind tried to push them back, but they refused to give up. At the top, they paused, looking down into a small valley where a hidden temple lay buried under sand. The glowing doorway was closer now, and the energy Aaron had sensed before grew stronger. "This is it," Aaron whispered. "The final approach. The gate is just ahead." Nira looked at him, her eyes wide with wonder. "It feels like something is alive here, like it knows we are coming." Aaron nodded. "The gate is more than stone. It is a test, a living puzzle. We must be ready for whatever comes next." As they continued toward the temple, strange symbols appeared on the walls. Some resembled animals, others stars and planets. Aaron realized that the builders had knowledge far beyond their time. They understood the sky, the earth, and perhaps even other worlds. "Imagine," Aaron said softly, "what they knew. They created a doorway to another place, and they waited for the right people to find it. That is incredible." Nira smiled. "And we are here. We were chosen to see it." The sun began to set, casting long shadows over the ruins. The light made the glowing symbols on the doorway shine brighter, almost as if the desert itself was welcoming them. Aaron and Nira stopped at the edge of the hidden valley, looking down at the glowing doorway. "This is the moment," Aaron said. "Tomorrow we enter. Tonight we prepare." They set up a small camp nearby, careful to stay hidden from the desert winds. As night fell, the stars filled the sky, and the glowing doorway pulsed gently below. Aaron could feel the energy of the gate through the sand and stone. It was alive, waiting, and patient. Nira sat beside him. "Do you think we are ready?" she asked. Aaron looked at her, and then at the glowing symbols. "We will be," he said. "We have come this far. Humanity has always reached for the unknown. And this is our chance. Tomorrow, we face the gate, and we step into something greater than ourselves." The desert was quiet, holding its secrets for one more night. Aaron and Nira rested, their minds alive with thoughts of what awaited them. The Pharaoh's gate had been found, and the journey was only beginning. The next morning, the desert air was cool, but the sun climbed steadily, promising a hot day. Aaron and Nira packed their gear and began their careful descent into the hidden valley. The glowing doorway waited below, surrounded by massive stone, walls that rose like silent guardians. Every step closer made the energy stronger, almost like the gate itself was aware of their approach. "This is it," Aaron said, his voice steady but filled with excitement. "The Pharaoh's gate is right. Ahead, we must be careful. One wrong move, and we could lose our chance forever." Nira nodded. "I feel it too. The air is different here. It is not just the heat or the sand. Something powerful is watching." They moved slowly, stepping around scattered stones and broken statues. Strange carvings covered the walls of the valley. Some looked like humans, others like creatures that did not belong to this world. Aaron studied the symbols carefully. "These tell a story," he said. "A story of the Pharaoh, his people, and the purpose of the gate. They did not build it for treasure or power. They built it for knowledge, to connect their world with another." Nira bent to examine a symbol carved deep into the stone. "It feels like it is alive," she said, "almost like it is trying to speak to us." Finally, they reached the base of the glowing doorway. It was larger than Aaron had imagined. The carvings on the stone pulsed gently with light, and the indentation for a hand was still visible in the center. Aaron felt a shiver run through him. This was not just stone. It was a key, a puzzle, and a test. Aaron knelt and placed his hand into the indentation. The stone hummed beneath his fingers. Nira followed and placed her hand beside his. A soft vibration traveled up their arms, filling them with a strange warmth. The glow of the symbols brightened, forming patterns that moved and shifted, almost like the gate was breathing. "Do you feel that?" Nira whispered. "I do," Aaron said. It is alive. It is waiting for us to understand it, to prove we are ready. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled lightly. The doorway itself seemed to pulse with energy. A deep, low hum filled the air, vibrating through the stones, the sand, and even their bones. Aaron took a deep breath. The gate was testing them. Already, Nira stepped back slightly, her eyes wide. What does it want us to do? Aaron studied the glowing symbols. Some looked like stars, others like hands or faces. He realized the symbols were a puzzle. It wants us to think, he said. This is not a test of strength. It is a test of mind and spirit. They moved closer, observing the patterns. Each symbol seemed to respond to their gaze, shifting slowly, as if inviting them to touch it in the correct order. Aaron took a chance and pressed a symbol shaped like a sun. A soft chime echoed, and a new pattern appeared. Nira followed and pressed a symbol that looked like a river. Another chime rang, and the doorway pulsed brighter. The gate is teaching us, Aaron said. We must pay attention, not rush. Every choice matters. Hours seemed to pass as they carefully touched the correct symbols. Each step brought a new sound, a new glow, and a new sense of connection. The energy in the air grew stronger, yet it was not frightening. It felt as though the gate was guiding them, showing respect for their patience and courage. Finally, after what felt like a long journey of thought and observation, the doorway began to open. The stone moved silently, sliding to the sides with a smooth grace. A bright light spilled from the opening, warm and welcoming, yet filled with mystery. Aaron and Nira held their breaths, staring into the unknown. It is beautiful, Nira said softly. I cannot see the end. It feels endless, Aaron nodded. It is another world. The Pharaoh built this to connect his people to something beyond. Imagination. And now it is our turn to enter. He looked at Nira. Are you ready? She smiled, determination shining in her eyes. I am. We have come this far. We cannot turn back now. Together, they stepped forward into the light. The doorway was warm, yet not hot. The air inside felt different, like it carried the scent of distant lands and ancient knowledge. Colors shifted and moved around them, patterns that made no sense yet felt familiar. Time seemed to slow. Aaron reached out and touched the air, and it felt solid for a moment, like walking through water. Nira laughed softly, a sound of joy and amazement. This is incredible. It is like stepping into a dream. As they walked further, they noticed shapes forming in the light. Shadows of beings, tall and graceful, moved around them, observing without words. Aaron realized they were not alone. The Pharaoh's gate had guardians, perhaps spirits or creations of the ancient builders, waiting to meet anyone who entered. Aaron whispered, we must be respectful. They are part of this gate. They will judge us by our actions, not our words. Nira nodded. Then we will show them humanity at its best. Curiosity, courage, and respect. The light grew brighter and the sense of energy stronger. Aaron felt a thrill of excitement and a touch of fear. The journey through the gate had begun, and everything beyond this point was unknown. One thing was certain. Humanity had taken the first step into a world that no one had seen for thousands of years, and the adventure was only beginning. Aaron and Nira stepped fully into the light of the gate, their eyes adjusting slowly to the strange world around them. The air shimmered like liquid gold, and the ground beneath their feet was soft but firm, glowing faintly with every step. Patterns of symbols and stars moved across the floor and walls, creating shapes that seemed to tell stories without words. This place is alive, Nira whispered. It is not just a doorway. It is its own world. Aaron nodded, his mind racing with wonder. The Pharaoh wanted this to be more than a path. This is a test, a trial. And it begins now. As they walked further, the light shifted into a soft, warm glow that outlined the entrance to a large chamber. The walls were covered in carvings of humans, animals, and strange celestial shapes. In the center of the room, a pedestal rose from the floor, and on it rested a crystal sphere that pulsed with energy. Aaron approached carefully. The sphere was heavy with power, yet it radiated a calm presence. He reached out, but before his hand touched it, a voice echoed in the chamber. It was deep, gentle, and unthreatening, yet it filled the room entirely. "Who enters the Pharaoh's gate?" the voice asked. "Why do you seek the knowledge beyond life?" Aaron glanced at Nira. "We are explorers," he said. "We seek understanding. We want to learn from the wisdom of the Pharaoh and his world." The voice seemed to consider this. "Knowledge is not given lightly. It must be earned. The first trial will test your courage and your heart. You must show that you are worthy." Suddenly, the chamber shifted. The walls melted into light, and the floor seemed to vanish. Aaron and Nira felt themselves floating, suspended in the golden air. Shapes formed around them, creatures made of light, moving gracefully, their eyes gentle but watching carefully. "The trial begins," the voice said. "Face what you fear and find a path forward." Aaron looked at the creatures, unsure at first. Then he noticed that each of them represented a different fear or challenge. One seemed to embody loneliness, another failure, and another the unknown. The shapes were not harmful, but they demanded attention and courage. Nira took a deep breath. "We cannot run. We must face them together." Aaron nodded. "Stay close. We will move slowly, carefully, and with respect." The first creature approached. It was tall and shadowy, with eyes that reflected Aaron's own doubts and fears. He felt a wave of uncertainty, memories of mistakes and mischances flooding his mind. He swallowed and stepped forward. "I will not let fear control me," Aaron said. He reached out with his hand, and the creature seemed to bow slightly, allowing him to pass. Nira followed, facing a creature that shimmered like water. It reflected her fears of failure, the worry that she might not be strong enough to succeed. She stepped forward confidently, and the light around the creature shifted, guiding her path. The chamber changed again. The creatures merged into patterns on the walls, creating a pathway of glowing symbols. Aaron realized the trial was also a puzzle. To move forward, they had to follow the patterns in the correct order, a test of observation, memory, and trust. "This is it," Aaron said. "We must watch carefully, remember each symbol, and step where the path leads." They moved together, memorizing the symbols and carefully stepping across the glowing floor. Each step made the light pulse, creating a rhythm that seemed to guide them. If they misstepped, the light dimmed and the creatures reappeared, reminding them that attention and patience were essential. Hours passed. Though time felt different in the gate, they moved steadily, trusting each other and the guidance of the light. Finally, they reached the end of the chamber, where a stone arch appeared, glowing with golden energy. The crystal sphere from before hovered above it, shining brighter than ever. The voice spoke again. "You have faced your fears and shown courage. You have trusted each other and the path. The first trial is complete. The gate recognizes your heart and spirit." Aaron and Nira approached the arch. As they passed under it, the chamber transformed once more. The creatures and symbols faded, replaced by a vision of the Pharaoh standing proudly, holding a staff that shone with light. He smiled, a gesture of approval and welcome. "This is only the beginning," the voice said. "Many trials await, but your journey will shape the future. Step forward with courage and wisdom." The golden light faded slightly, revealing a new path ahead. The next chamber loomed before them, larger and more mysterious than the first. Aaron felt a mixture of excitement and anticipation. The Pharaoh's gate was challenging them, but they had passed the first test together. Nero looked at him and smiled. "We did it. We faced the trial, and we are ready for what comes next." Aaron nodded. "Yes, but the journey will grow harder. We must remain strong and trust each other." They stepped forward, leaving the first chamber behind. The light of the gate surrounded them, warm and encouraging. The first trial had proven their courage and heart, but they both knew that many challenges lay ahead. The Pharaoh's gate was not just a doorway to knowledge. It was a test of humanity itself. Aaron and Nero stepped into the next chamber of the gate, and the air changed immediately. The golden light of the previous chamber faded, replaced by a dim silver glow. Shadows stretched along the walls, moving as if alive. The ground was smooth, but reflective like dark water. Every step echoed, though there was no sound to explain it. "This place feels different," Nero whispered. "It is quiet, yet I feel like we are being watched." Aaron nodded, his eyes scanning the chamber. "The Pharaoh designed each trial to test a different part of us. The first was courage. This one is something else. We need to stay alert." The shadows shifted, forming shapes that resembled animals and people. At first they were still, but then they began to move, circling Aaron and Nero like silent guardians. The two explorers realized that the shadows mirrored their own movements, yet sometimes acted independently, showing hidden parts of themselves they had never faced. "This is strange," Nero said. "They are not trying to harm us, but they are teaching us something," Aaron thought carefully. The first trial was about facing fear. These shadows may show our hidden thoughts or secrets. We must understand them, not fight them. As they moved forward, one shadow separated from the rest. It looked like Aaron, but its expression was doubtful and anxious. The shadow spoke without words, sending images into his mind. Memories of failure, mistakes, and mischances appeared. Aaron felt a tightness in his chest, but he stood tall and faced the shadow. "I am not defined by my mistakes," he said firmly. "I have learned from them, and I will keep learning." The shadow nodded slowly and melted back into the silver glow. Nero faced a similar challenge. A shadow resembling her appeared, showing moments when she had doubted herself or thought she was not strong enough. She looked the shadow in the eyes. "I am stronger than my doubts," she said. "I will not let them stop me." The shadows around them shifted again, forming a path of silver light across the reflective floor. Aaron and Nero realized that the path was not straightforward. The shadows moved, creating illusions of walls and dead ends. The chamber was testing their perception, their patience, and their ability to trust what they could see. "We need to focus on what is real, not what only looks real," Aaron said. "The gate is teaching us to trust ourselves and each other." Step by step, they followed the shifting path, carefully observing the shadows and learning their patterns. Each time a shadow tried to block them, they remembered the lessons from the first trial and moved calmly, never letting fear or frustration take over. Hours passed, and the reflective floor grew warmer under their feet. They reached the center of the chamber, where a large mirror floated in mid-air. The mirror showed their reflections, but the reflections were not exactly like them. They glowed with the light of the gate and looked confident, brave, and wise. "This must be the key," Nero said. "We have to recognize ourselves as the gate sees us." Aaron studied his reflection. "The Pharaoh wants us to understand our inner strength. We cannot just see ourselves as we are. We must see ourselves as we could be." They both reached out and touched the mirror. The silver surface rippled under their fingers, and a soft warmth spread through their bodies. The shadows around them bowed in acknowledgement, then vanished into the floor and walls. The mirror transformed into a doorway of silver light, glowing with an inviting brilliance. The voice at the gate echoed softly. "You have faced your doubts and recognized your true selves. You have learned patience, trust, and self-awareness. The Chamber of Shadows honors your journey and opens the path forward." Aaron and Nira exchanged smiles. "We did it," Nira said. "This trial was harder than the first, but we stayed calm and believed in ourselves." Aaron nodded. "Yes, but the journey is far from over. The Pharaoh's Gate is challenging us in ways we cannot yet imagine." As they stepped through the silver doorway, the chamber behind them disappeared, replaced by a corridor of light that shimmered with colors they had never seen before. The air was warmer here, filled with energy that felt both powerful and welcoming. "Look at this," Nira said. "It is like the world is alive, waiting for us to discover it." Aaron smiled. "We are explorers in a place built for the Pharaoh and his people. We have passed 2 trials, but each one grows more difficult. We must keep our courage, wisdom, and trust in each other." The corridor led to a vast hall filled with floating platforms of glowing stone. Aaron and Nira realized that their next challenge awaited them here. They looked at each other, ready for whatever the gate would present next. The Pharaoh's Gate was not just a doorway. It was a journey, a teacher, and a test of the human spirit. Every step brought them closer to knowledge, understanding, and the mysteries of a world beyond their imagination. Aaron and Nira stepped into the vast hall, their eyes widening at the sight before them. Platforms of glowing stone floated in midair, arranged in a path that twisted and turned above a deep, dark abyss. Each platform radiated light, but some flickered as if uncertain. The air was filled with a faint hum that resonated with the gate itself, making their hearts beat in rhythm with the hall. "This is unlike anything we have seen," Nira whispered. "We have to cross it carefully." Aaron nodded, studying the platforms. "It is a test of balance and trust, not only in ourselves but in the gate and each other." The first platform was wide and steady, glowing with soft gold. Aaron stepped onto it, feeling warmth spread through his feet. Nira followed, and together they moved forward. Each step brought them closer to the center of the hall, but as they progressed, the platforms became narrower and more unstable. Some tilted under their weight, others moved slightly as if the gate were testing their focus. "Watch the stones," Aaron said. "Step only when you are certain. Do not rush." Nira nodded, taking a deep breath. "We need to trust the path. The gate will guide us if we stay calm." As they advanced, the hall began to shift. Platforms rose and fell, creating gaps that required careful leaps. Shadows flickered along the edges of the stones, sometimes forming shapes of creatures they had never seen. They were not dangerous, but they reminded Aaron and Nira that the trial demanded full attention. "Leap together," Aaron suggested. "We will keep each other steady." They synchronized their steps, counting silently and moving with care. When the gaps appeared, they leapt together, landing safely on the next stone. Each successful jump filled them with confidence, but the gate had more challenges in store. Halfway through the hall, the platforms started to shift faster, and the light began to dim. A fog rose from the abyss, curling around their feet. Aaron felt a cold unease, and Nira's hands trembled slightly. "This is a test of courage," Aaron said firmly. "We cannot let fear control us now," Nira nodded, gripping his hand. We face it together. We can do this." As they moved forward, a platform in front of them split into 2, creating a narrow passage. They realized they had to walk along the edge, where one misstep could send them into the darkness below. The hum of the gate grew louder, almost like a heartbeat, and the shadows on the stones seemed to watch their every move. "Focus on each step," Aaron whispered. "Do not think about the fall. Think only about the path." Nira took a deep breath, then stepped carefully onto the narrow stone. Aaron followed, supporting her balance. Step by step, they crossed, feeling the tension ease as they reached a stable platform again at the center of the hall. They found a large circular stone, glowing brighter than any other. On it rested a small golden key, suspended in the air. A voice echoed through the hall, calm and deep. You have faced a hall of floating stones with courage, patience, and trust. The path is dangerous, but you have proven your balance and your unity. The key is yours to claim. Aaron reached for the golden key, and it floated gently into his hand. The moment he held it, the hall brightened, and the floating stones formed a smooth path forward. The abyss seemed less threatening, as if the gate itself was acknowledging their success. Mira smiled. We did it. The stones were dangerous, but we stayed together and trusted each other. Aaron nodded, looking around the hall with a mixture of awe and relief. The Pharaoh's trials are not just tests of skill or courage. They teach us about ourselves and our connection to the world around us. As they stepped onto the final platform, a doorway of pure light appeared. Beyond it, they could see a garden unlike any they had imagined. Trees of crystal and flowers of glowing colors filled the area, and streams of light flowed gently through the garden. It was peaceful and alive, a stark contrast to the challenge they had just faced. This must be the reward for completing the trial, Mira said softly. A place of calm after the test. Aaron smiled. Yes, but we cannot forget the lessons of the hall. Courage, patience, and trust. These will guide us in the trials ahead. They crossed the glowing doorway, leaving the hall of floating stones behind. The garden welcomed them with a gentle breeze, carrying scents of unknown flowers. Light shimmered across the streams, and the sound of water filled their ears. For the first time, they felt a sense of peace within the gate. This place is incredible, Mira said, walking along the stream. It is like the Pharaoh wanted us to experience beauty and strength together. Aaron nodded, holding the golden key tightly. Every trial brings us closer to understanding the gate and its purpose. The Pharaoh's knowledge is not just about life or death. It is about harmony, courage, and wisdom. As they rested in the garden, the gate seemed to hum softly around them, a gentle reminder that their journey was not over. Ahead lay the final trial, the one that would test everything they had learned. Aaron and Mira looked at each other, ready to face it. They had overcome fear, doubt, and danger. Now, they were prepared for the ultimate challenge of the Pharaoh's gate. Aaron and Mira stepped out of the glowing garden and entered a grand hall. This hall was larger than any they had seen before, with high ceilings carved from luminous stone. The walls were covered in golden hieroglyphs that shimmered in the light, telling stories of ancient kings, brave warriors, and wise scholars. At the center of the hall stood a massive gate made of pure light, towering over them like a mountain. This must be the heart of the Pharaoh's gate, Mira said, her voice filled with awe. The final trial is behind this light. Aaron nodded, studying the gate. All the lessons we have learned so far have led to this moment. Courage, trust, patience, and understanding. We must carry everything we have gained to succeed. As they approached, the light of the gate began to swirl, forming shapes of past explorers and guardians who had tried to enter. Some looked fearful, some determined, but all had vanished before reaching the heart. Aaron felt a chill, realizing that this trial was unlike anything they had faced. A voice echoed in the hall, deep and calm. You have passed the tests of courage, shadows, and balance. The final trial is not of the body, but of the spirit. To enter the heart of the gate, you must face your true selves and show the Pharaoh that you are worthy. Mira looked at Aaron. We have come this far together. We can do this if we trust ourselves and each other. Aaron nodded, taking her hand. Let us face it together. The gate has guided us, but now it is our choice to step forward. The light of the gate pulsed as if waiting for them. They stepped into it, and immediately the world around them changed. They were no longer in a hall but floating in a vast space of colors and light. The ground disappeared, replaced by an endless horizon that seemed to stretch forever. From the light, forms began to emerge, visions of their fears, their hopes, and their deepest memories. Aaron saw moments when he had doubted his abilities, feared failure, and questioned his purpose. Nira saw moments when she had felt weak, lost, or alone. The visions were not frightening, but demanded honesty. You must accept yourselves fully. The voice said, only those who understand their own hearts can enter the heart of the gate. Aaron took a deep breath and spoke aloud. I accept my doubts, but I also accept my strength. I will use both to grow and to help others. Nira followed, her voice steady. I accept my fears, but I also accept my courage. I will not let anything hold me back from what is right. As they spoke, the visions began to fade, replaced by a warm, golden light that surrounded them. The space of endless color and light shimmered, forming a pathway leading to a glowing throne made of crystal and gold. Sitting on the throne was the Pharaoh, his figure radiant and commanding, yet welcoming. You have reached the heart of the gate, the Pharaoh said, his voice gentle but powerful. Few have come this far. You have faced fear, doubt, and challenge with courage and wisdom. You have proven yourselves worthy. Aaron and Nira bowed, feeling a sense of peace and accomplishment. Thank you, Pharaoh, Aaron said. Your gate has taught us more than we could imagine. The Pharaoh smiled. The gate is not only a test but a guide. It shows the strength of the human spirit and the importance of understanding oneself. You have learned courage, trust, patience, and wisdom. These gifts will remain with you always. The throne and the Pharaoh began to dissolve into light, and the golden path stretched before Aaron and Nira. The gate opened fully, revealing a vision of the world outside, bright and alive. They could see the land, the rivers, and the mountains, and they realized that they were not just explorers but part of something much greater. This is the gate's final lesson, Nira said softly. The world is full of challenges, but also full of beauty and wonder. We have the power to face it and make a difference. Aaron smiled, feeling a new strength within him. We have learned that the greatest trials are not the ones we face outside, but the ones we face within. The Pharaoh's gate has shown us that we are stronger than we knew. Hand in hand, they step forward through the light, feeling it surround them completely. The gate did not close behind them, but the hall, the garden, and the trials all seemed to fade into memory. They emerged into the world beyond, carrying the lessons of the gate in their hearts. The Pharaoh's gate had tested them, guided them, and transformed them. Aaron and Nira knew that their journey was only beginning, but they were ready. They were no longer the same as when they had entered. They were wiser, braver, and united in spirit. As the sun rose on the horizon, they looked at each other and smiled. The Pharaoh's gate had opened not only to the afterlife, but also to a new understanding of life itself. And with that knowledge, they walked forward into a future full of possibilities and hope.